Okay, so I was preparing for Sabbath, and I thought to myself, like, wow, I used to do the Sabbath wrong, you know? And I really thought about it because, you know, I was raised in the Messianic movement, and we were always taught that Sabbath is Friday night to Saturday night, and really, the Sabbath is Saturday morning to Sunday morning. And I just really have a lot of sympathy for the people who truly want to keep, you know, God's Sabbath, Yah's Sabbath, Yahweh, Yeshua, or Yehovah, whatever interpretation. I'm not the name police, but, you know, just the true Sabbath. And they don't. And they have a zeal for God, but no knowledge. So they profane the holy. They mix the holy with the profane. And it's so sad to see these people who are at the Feast of Tabernacles right now and who are doing all of these holy things that we're supposed to do in the land and say, oh, well, we're practicing. Well, if you all sit around and you practice worshiping Satan, are you not really worshiping Satan? You know, and I'm not trying to like say that they're nearly the same thing, but I mean, you can't practice doing something religiously and then say, oh, but we're not really doing it.
Well, hang on. In a lot of ways, it is the same thing, doing the feasts contrary to the Torah outside of the place where he puts his name, which is Jerusalem. Actually, they are, in God's eyes, the same thing. Because if you read 1 Samuel, or was it 2 Samuel? No, 1 Samuel 15, Saul does a sacrifice when God said don't do a sacrifice, and each of these feasts has a sacrifice element. It's prophetic for the feasts. And he says rebellion is just like witchcraft, and stubbornness is like the sin of idolatry. So in God's eyes, you could do witchcraft paganism in the church like Christmas and Easter, or Halloween, as Kana just said, worshipping Satan. Or if you disobey the Torah of God and do the feasts outside of the land while you're in captivity and you're supposed to be fulfilling the royal law in a time of mourning, lamentation and woe, he looks at that rebellion and that stubbornness just as the same as he looks at the children, the Christians, doing Christmas and Easter. It's sin is sin. And he's just as mad with those guys doing the feasts as he is with the Christians doing Christmas and Easter. And in fact, arguably, he's more mad at the feasters because backsliding Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Judah, because Judah always had the law. Don't say you know the law of God, but don't keep the law. You see, you know better. You know the depths of Satan. You know you're not supposed to do Christmas and Easter. You know they're not supposed to do it, so you're supposed to tell them not to do it. But what everyone does in these Torah movements is they sit there, feed their own bellies, just like prophecy says, and they bless themselves, thinking, oh, we've got it made in the shade, we'll do the feasts, never mind worrying about going and getting these Christians and rebuking them for paganism. And God hates that. So
yeah, and it's all covetousness. And another really big thing I want to say is like Hanukkah. Like when I grew up, we had Hanukkah, right? We didn't do Christmas because Christmas is pagan, but Hanukkah's pagan too. Like all you're doing is you're coveting and you're using the Bible and a biblical war to try to make it biblical, but you're coveting all these things that you don't have. You're coveting not being able to give your children this special holiday season. So you guys light a menorah, which that's not pagan, but you sit there and you all go buy gifts and you buy these luxurious gifts that you give, one for each night, and it's still coveting, it's still breaking the 10 Commandments, and it's just replacing one for the other. You're taking away Christmas because, oh, that's pagan, but then you're breaking the 10 Commandments by coveting and doing Hanukkah. And, you know, these aren't things that we're supposed to be doing right now. Like, as I walk around and see all these people, everyone has Christmas hats on, or they're dressing their children up and, you know, ghosts and little demons, and it's not good. And, well, I guess originally I was talking about the Sabbath and kind of went down on a rabbit trail, but it's like you have the left and you have the right, and then you have like the straight and narrow. And it's really sad to see when people are all the way to the left, and they're doing Christmas and Halloween, but then they go all the way to the right, and then you're doing, you're wearing tzitzis and you're circumcising yourself. I know someone who circumcised himself at I think he was 24 when he got circumcised, because the person was being told that he needs to circumcise his flesh because that's what the Bible says, even though Paul says circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing. And and I feel bad because they don't know the truth, and they don't know when the true Sabbath is. So they try their best, and they go from one pastor to another pastor, or a priest to the rabbi, or they go left to right, but they still aren't going the straight and narrow, and they're still being lied to. And it's so hard to go from one pagan thing to a biblical thing, but you're coveting and you shouldn't be doing it, to just going back to the true straight and narrow. And it's really, really hard, but I guess just want it to be an encouragement, because I was both. I went left, I went right, left, right, left, right, left. I was raised in the Torah movement, but then when I was 18, I was like, screw this, I can't do this, it's too strict, and I went far left. And I never did Christmas, but I did go to if I had a boyfriend at the time, I would go to their Christmas dinner, so I guess I still participated. But I even went to a Halloween party and, dressed up one year. I think I was 21, so 2 years ago. And I was doing all these horrible things. I went left, right. And then I went back to the right, and I was like, no, the Torah movement's where it's at. We can't, that's not good. I shouldn't go celebrate Christmas with my significant others and go do Halloween and all that stuff. I need to go all the way back to the right. So then I started doing Sabbath again, and going to the Feast of Tabernacles and doing Passover and, all of that. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, wait, this is still a lie. I turned from it for a reason. So then I went and I found what I know to be the truth. And I just really want to, I guess, encourage people, don't stop looking. If you have that feeling in your heart, wow, something's not right, it's because it's true. It's not. That's conviction, that's grace. God is giving you grace to keep searching for the truth, because the truth is out there. And my husband can explain it to the men, I can explain it to the women, he can explain it to the women, but the truth is plainly written in the Bible. And the Bible even says you'll have eyes and ears, but they won't see or hear. And there's only a few that are the elect that are going to rise up and become harvest workers in the end times. And the end times are here. Nobody can deny that with everything that's going on. And this is really just, to the women, if you really feel like something's not right, it's because it's not. If you're sitting there covering your head, I remember I went to a Sabbath service one time, and the Sabbath service that I went to, you have to have your head covered. And I literally had just a small piece of hair hanging out. And they went to my mom. Meanwhile, I was 14 years old. I'm 14. I'm not trying to lure men at 14. You're not even thinking of that. And one of the elders, I'll never forget this, he went to my mom and yelled at my mother, saying that I was trying to lure men because my hair was showing. And just, it's crazy stuff like that. And it's not biblical. But anyway, just keep searching for the truth and keep praying. And I'll link some channels that you can watch if you feel convicted by this message. And God bless all of you, and I love all of you guys, and I just hope that you guys find the truth, because there's not really a lot of time left. And so yeah, that's pretty much it.